This episode of Nick Luck Daily is brought to you by Timeform, your trusted source for racing data and analysis. By Ozhorse, race where racing matters. Check out Ozhorse's Investor's Guide, ozhorse.com.au. And by FitzDares, laying some of the world's largest sporting wagers since 1882. Good morning, Wednesday the 19th of August, day one of the Sky Bet Ebor Festival, once again coming to you on all the usual platforms and of course in vision on YouTube. Delighted to be here, joined by David Yates. 1.8 mils of rain overnight, the going remains good, the sun is high in the sky. Those things may not sustain all week, David, but we've got them for the moment.
Yeah, that's right. I think with some rain forecast for today and tomorrow, then it dries out. But I think we're looking at sort of good ground, aren't we? It's very different to Royal Ascot and the Qatar Goodwood Festival, where it was just like unbroken sunshine. It's going to be a bit different now, but obviously we are moving away from heatwave number 5.
I think we are. Easy ground, it's probably about 19, 20 degrees at the moment. I don't think it's going to get any warmer than this during the course of the week. We have one of the great races of the season today, the Juddmonte International. It always is, but when you have a clash like we've got today between what some people think is the best horse in the world, Ombudsman, or the handicappers do, and Aidan O'Brien's considered to be very best 3-year-old Constitution River, we've got a belter, and that's notwithstanding all the supporting cast.
Yeah, and there's quite a strong supporting cast as well, but as you say, Ombudsman is the highest rated horse over sort of middle distances on the planet, and he is a 4-time Group 1 winner, Constitution River, younger rival, defied that draw in style really in the Prix du Jockey Club, and then he was a bit lit up before the Coral Eclipse, but he got it done easily enough, didn't he, that day? It's going to be a real it's a fascinating clash between the two, but we do have Al McCam. I've actually tipped Item. I just thought that, yeah, I have it. Perhaps it was just because I sort of bottled out of trying to tip between the two main ones and found that too hard, so I thought I'll just go for the other one. The thing that, look, everybody knows Item needs a massive personal best to come out in front of Constitution River and Ombudsman, but he is unbeaten apart from an entirely excusable no-show in the Derby. And just the thing that I liked about the Sky Bet York Stakes, we were all at Ascot watching the King George, but he at one point got quite flat-footed, then was really strongly on top at the end that day. He was carrying a Group 2 penalty for his win in the Dante, taking on older horses, and I just thought that there's going to be an unrelenting pace today, yes. And I don't expect Item to be outpaced. He's up against much better rivals today, but I just feel that the rhythm of the race, a relentless gallop, will really suit him. And so, what is he, like 7-8 to 1? I put him in to cause an upset. We will see. Well,
the rhythm of the race will be interesting. I mean, we had Burr Castle zooming off in front last year, threatened to cause another massive upset, and the Ombudsman eventually ran him down with Delacroix. This time we've got Devil's Advocate for Gosden, and presumably Action, and then Hawk Mountain for Aidan O'Brien. Though Hawk Mountain is definitely a runner in his own right.
Yes, he is. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it looks as though I'd say a searching pace is in prospect. As you say, Burr Castle, that was a fascinating race to watch last year. That was the spoken rivalry between John Gosden and O'Brien sort of went up a notch on this day last year, didn't it? And it's a thing which is great, in a very sort of genteel and polite sport. A few, such as English flat racing, a few words between the main protagonists, British and Irish flat racing, of course, but it spices things up a bit, and we might get a bit more of it today.
I asked ChatGPT last night to tell me what John Gosden would say if Ombudsman was beaten by Constitution River in this race, and there'd been a muddling pace Would you like to know what ChatGPT said to me?
Absolutely fascinated that you actually thought about asking such a question.
John Gosden, this is what ChatGPT said that Gosden might say if Ombudsman was beaten. He ran a very good race, but obviously wasn't quite the race we expected to run. There was rather a lot going on in front of him with the Ballydoyle horses. That can make it difficult to get into a rhythm. And then we had the rain on the ground that had already been watered, so it became a rather unusual surface. It wasn't really the York we know. He travelled well enough, but when William asked him to quicken, he didn't have the same response. Full credit to Constitution River. He's a very good horse, and he got the run of the race. 3-year-olds get these little advantages sometimes. They're carrying less weight, they're fresh, and when you've got a few horses running for the same interests, you can arrange things rather nicely. But I'm not making excuses. That's racing. I mean, how scarily good is AI? How scarily good?
It is scarily good. Can you cut and paste that and send it to me?
That'll be your column.
I'll write my race report. I was going to say you've got too much time on your hands, but I know you very well, and you obviously haven't. But then I'm remembering that you once wrote a racing version of "I am the very model of a modern Major General," didn't you?
If you can remember it, then fair play. You can sing your best Gilbert and Sullivan by the end of the show. I don't know whether Kieran Clarke's going to sing any Gilbert and Sullivan. I suspect not. But here he is with his thoughts on today's big race.
Like most major festivals, the Ebor meeting really does start with a bang in the Juddmonte International as Timeform's leading middle distance horse in Europe in Ombudsman takes on the unbeaten this season, Constitution River, who's now the highest rated 3-year-old in training with Timeform after Boeco's retirement. Throw in a couple of pacemakers and another runner from Ballydoyle, and we're probably going to get what should be a well-run race, but also one that could prove quite tactical. I don't think we're going to get the spectacle of last year where one's going to go a long way clear, but it really could be one of the races of the season. Can't wait for that. Elsewhere on the card, cracking renewal of the Great Voltigeur as the Derby 1-2 take on each other. And we've got an Acomb which probably isn't quite as deep as the last 2 years, but again that could well provide some future pointers. It does sort of feel like an Acomb of old before the restrictions changed. We've got 4 novice or maiden winners last time out in there, taking on the likes of Hafner and Alfred Wallace, who are already proven at this sort of level. So as ever on day one of York, plenty of action, plenty of interesting action, and also plenty of very difficult handicaps to solve, including the opener. But we do think that Tote Madera has a good chance after that arguably unlucky effort in the Stewards Cup. Who knows what the weather's going to do? Right behind me now we've got sunshine, we've got dark clouds. I think there is a bit of rain in the air, which would be against Ombudsman slightly, but it might just turn the ground on the easy side of good. But can't wait for the action. We'll be back in tomorrow.
All right, that was Kieran Clarke from Timeform. Now we're going to move on and have a chat about the Great Voltigeur, chief supporting race today. You got the Derby winner, the Derby runner-up and Grand Prix de Paris winner, and also the horse who was third and a close third and just behind Christmas Day in the Irish Derby. It is a cracking edition of this race. William Haggas against Aidan O'Brien, Maltese Cross carrying the colours of George Ward, the Derby runner-up. Now Sam Haggas, he bought this horse. He's been very heavily involved in the management of him as well. He eats, sleeps and drinks Maltese Cross. He's got him coursing through his veins, and he said, right, give me a call. So we've given him a call. He's on the line now, but he said, I don't need to be seen at this hour in the morning. So Sam, I'm hoping we can hear you loud and clear. Are you there?
Yes, just about.
Just about in body, but perhaps a little hazy of mind this morning. Tell me how you're feeling about the Voltigeur today.
I'm looking forward to the race. It's a fantastic renewal of the race. It's very rare. I don't know if it's ever happened to have the Derby winner and the Derby second locking horns. In a Group 2 like this, I suppose it speaks volumes of the prize money of the race, but also the timing of the race is very good. For I suppose Christmas Day and Maltese Cross are probably both considering whether they go Arc or Ledger after this, and the time is good, but it's a fantastic renewal. All these group races at York are very hard to win, and so this is yet another furiously competitive race at York's flagship meeting.
All right, tell me how much you've enjoyed the journey with this horse, because I say you've been associated with him right from the word go.
Yeah, it's been quite incredible. I've never really quite had a journey like it. As you say, from a yearling stage and all the way through. we've loved every second of it. It's just got more and more exciting, and the horse just has continued to do everyone so proud. And he's such an exciting horse. And what's exciting about him is that there could be so much more to come from him. For the rest of this year and next year and maybe even beyond.
You and the Derby winner both have to carry £5 penalties. Is there anything about today, track, ground, trip, way the race might pan out, that makes you think you can turn the tables or might give you the edge?
Yeah, possibly just ground that isn't as soft as it was at Epsom. I think that gives us a shot of narrowing the deficit between us and Christmas Day from Epsom and potentially even reversing it. I think obviously with Aidan O'Brien running 3 out of the 6 runners, there could be an element of tactics towards the race. And obviously Pierre Bonnard, he is hugely respected. Getting £5 from both Christmas Day and Maltese Cross. So, he's very respected, coming off an excellent run in the Irish Derby, which was run in a very nice time. And then you have Mrs. Gosden, who have a horse seriously on the up with Superior Choice, and he's a fascinating contender. It'll be very interesting to see this. I expect this will be a truly run race or an evenly run race, and he has yet to really encounter a properly run race, and that could see a better performance still from him. And then you have Gallian as well completing the field, so it's a proper race, and this is far from a cakewalk, and it'll be a really good test for Maltese Cross, especially with the £5 penalty. It'll be a really good test, I expect.
Right, your hunch, final question. As things stand now at 8:51 on the morning of the Voltigeur, will this horse end up in the Arc or the Ledger?
Yeah, it's a very hard thing to say, but the fact that he ran his best race, or he won his Group 1, he ran his clear best race, and he ran his clear best sort of figure on the clock at Paris, at Longchamp even, would tilt slightly in that favour. But no, I think a lot will depend on what happens today. How the strength of the performance and the strength of the form of the race. So it really will hinge on today, I do believe.
Sam,
I am sitting on the fence then, which is very unhelpful to you. But
you might be sitting on the fence, but your legs are definitely dangling one side of it.
Yeah, I think look, we all dream of the Arc. We all want to go for the Arc, but the horse, this horse has always had to throw his hat in the ring himself, as opposed to us, pitching him at a level too unrealistic. And he has really answered every call of ours, and I hope he'll do the same again. But we all would love to go to Paris with an Arc contender. It is a dream of anyone who really is involved with horses, and yeah, the horse is going to have to do it today, and we'll learn more still about him. Different track and a different sort of test, I expect. And different shape of a race, but it'll be interesting, and I think we'll learn a lot still today.
Sam, appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Nick.
Sam Haggas, and fair play to him for insisting that he remain out of vision. That's anybody's right, but he previewed the race beautifully for us. We don't have too much to add, David, in all honesty, other than who do you think's going to win?
Well, I've gone for Pierre Bonnard. Just there are a couple of things really. Again, a little bit of I could refer you to the honourable gentleman to the reply I gave some moments ago about the Juddmonte International, in that you've got 2 horses at the head of the market in Maltese Cross and Christmas Day, and I sort of bottled it by going for Pierre Bonnard. But there is
I've gone for Pierre Bonnard as well, for what it's worth.
There's the £5 penalty. He was only a neck behind Christmas Day in the Irish Derby, wasn't he, when they were 2nd and 3rd behind Benvenuto Cellini. And there's something like, I know that every trainer can get their horses wrong, and Aidan O'Brien is no exception to that. And he's had hundreds of horses over the years that he's had to tell us how good or otherwise they are. But he's had this faith, hasn't he? The horse was beaten in the Ballysacks.
Yeah,
He
was beaten this far in the Irish Derby, wasn't he? By Christmas Day.
Yeah. But the point I was trying to make was that he was winter favourite for the Derby after a Group 1 win at St Cloud as a 2-year-old. I think he beat one home in the Ballysacks. Then he was beaten by James J. Braddock in the Cashel Palace Derby Trial Stakes, both at Leopardstown. He went off at 7-2 for the Derby. He was a real punt that day, wasn't he? Again, didn't distinguish himself, but Aidan O'Brien has always said, like, this is a very good horse, and today has to be the day, doesn't it? He's getting £5 from 2 Group 1 winners who are obviously the standard setters, but if Pierre Bonnard can't do it today, he looks to me like a Ledger horse all over, and so he'd need to win this trial in receipt of £5 if he is.
Pierre Bonnard then for us in the Great Voltigeur, but good luck to Sam Haggas and his crew, George Ward the owner and his great friend Gavin Chengalani. They've been really enjoying this ride, and who could blame them with Maltese Cross. All right, that's the Voltigeur done. What about the Tattersalls Acomb Stakes, the other pattern race today? There's any number of horses who could take a big step forward here, and I thought, right, who to call? I thought about Hugo Palmer, Ed Walker. We spoke to Tom Marquand. We've spoken to Kieran Schumacher yesterday. So we've covered quite a lot of the bases in this race. We haven't covered a horse who I presume is named after the instruction the trainer gives to his pilot every morning: fuel the jet. And Tom Clover is with us now. At least I hope he is. Tom, now, can you put yourself on camera for us?
Oh, sorry, Nick. Beg your pardon.
There he is. Don't worry. We'll find him.
There we are.
Look at him. Inglorious Technicolor. Have we got you? It's working well, this, isn't it?
Isn't it working well? Sorry.
Hang about. I'm definitely in vision here.
You're definitely in vision. I'm struggling away. Oh, I don't know if that's not working. There we are.
There we are.
Hey.
There he is.
Fuel the jet. No, looking forward to getting him out today. Took a big step forward last time at Newbury, and everyone knows that maiden historically works out reasonably well. And it's an exciting prospect.
It would be rather unlike you to jump straight into a race like this, for all he was impressive last time. Has he always been a horse you've held in very high regard?
Yeah, he's physically done well. He's got a lovely pedigree, very much like the Sire Space Blues, and I feel like hopefully, Nick, he's just improving. We're under no illusions. It's a big step up, but we felt he warranted his place, and his homework's been pleasing us, so hopefully he can shape up well. It'd be great if he could run a really big race today, and in what looks a deep race, I feel like he wants his chance to take it.
What are you dreaming about with him? If this all works out well, if he wins or runs an excellent race in defeat, what's the Clover dream with this horse?
Well, I mean, the pattern's there for everyone, isn't it, Nick? You know, we all know what the pattern is. You hope you can run well in these races and it leads you where you want to be. But he does have a nice pedigree, and I'm a big believer in pedigrees and how they come through, and we'll worry about today first. But, you know, a first 3 run would be massive. He has worked. His work is improving, and we're really looking forward to seeing how he shapes. He's a horse that we sort of always felt that would get a mile, but he is sharpening up, I think, as well. So I think we'll worry about today first. Hopefully he can prove these up to this level, and then we can carry on dreaming.
Tell me a little bit about the owner. I didn't immediately recognise the colours.
Ollie Humphrey, yes. So he's been with us for a few years now. He had a nice horse called 50 Nifty with us, won a couple of races. And he actually owns a third of the Wizard of Eye as well.
Oh, yes,
colours.
of course.
Yeah.
Now I've got it.
Yeah, and then we had a couple of horses, 60 G's Baby, who was a fun horse for us, won a couple of races at HQ, and then we've got this lad now as well. So, he's been a great supporter, and it would be lovely if he could run a big race for him today.
And you've got your old favourite Al Nair going into Lonsdale later in the week. How's he getting on?
Yeah, he seems in great form at 8 years young, and I think he's placed the last couple of years, loves the track, seems in great shape. He won his Group 3 this year, placed in a couple of Group 2s. If he get placed again, we'd be thrilled, and it's just great prize money that York put on, so we're very keen to support it.
Good luck, Tom.
Cheers, Nick.
There we are, Tom Clover, we got him there, and he's got Fuel the Jet in the Acomb. Any number you could give a chance to in that race. I did like Hafner at Goodwood, David. He's going to have to drive forward with a stable companion from the outside. Trian, who we heard about yesterday from Paddy Toomey, he's a front runner as well. I think patience might be a virtue here for one or two of those who are seeking to take a big step forward.
Yeah, quite possibly. I'm not sure I'd want to sort of nail down those 2-year-olds to concrete running styles just at the moment. Hafner, I thought, was, he just, my word, didn't he try against Dr. Rascal in the Vintage Stakes at Goodwood? He was stepping up to Group 2 company after his maiden win, and obviously now in theory down in class to a Group 3, but it's a pretty good one, isn't it? With some smart and progressive 2-year-olds in it. But yeah, for all you Mozart fans, very clever with their naming the horses sometimes.
Go on, you're going to have to.
Hafner is Mozart's 35th Symphony.
Okay, excellent, very good. It's always nice to get a bit of erudition on this show.
You don't get it very often from me.
Well, I disagree. And talking of erudition, I think we should check in with Hugo Palmer, shouldn't we? As he's got 2 fancied runners in the first, and he's got a horse in the.
He'll bring the tone up.
Remind me the name of his horse in the Acomb. He's going to remind me because he's here. There he is in the office at Manor House. I just had a mental block. Your runner in the Acomb, whose name is
Stardom Glory.
That's it. Who's run twice here and finished second here, and then bolted up last time. Is he a player? You've won the race before.
I've never won the race.
I thought you had won it. No. What was the? Did you finish second in it?
I've only had 2 runners. They were both beaten favourites.
Oh no! Sorry.
Best of Days.
Best of Days was the one I was thinking of.
And Dubawi Legend. So we're not favourites today, so less pressure. He's a lovely horse. I've always felt all year that he could be our best 2-year-old, and also was very disappointed that he got beaten the first twice. He was a lesser race that he bolted up in at Chester, and the feeling is he's going to improve plenty for going 7 furlongs. He's 6 kilograms heavier today than he was the last day he ran, and he's bigger and stronger, and he's done very well in that period, but he's going to need to be.
Now you got 2 in the first, Dubai Bling and Stratus 9. They're drawn next to each other. It might be a good draw according to the going stick, though not according to what's been happening so far here this season. Which of the 2 do you prefer?
Very hard to know. I mean, Stratus 9's record at York is excellent. I think he's ever finished outside the first 2 there. Dubai Bling just doesn't help himself sometimes. I mean, he was so annoying in the Stewards Cup. I deliberately chose an even draw so that he wouldn't have to go, so that he could go in late. And because he was behaving nicely, they stuck him in early, and he was in there about I don't know how long he was in there, but a long time. And he just got restless and missed the break. And Lester Piggott famously said, "You can give weight, not ground." And he's at the stage of his career now where he is giving weight. He was under a penalty there that day, and you can't give weight and ground. So if he gets away on terms, I don't think there'll be very much between them. But as you say, if we could find out that we're drawn well, we could have quite a big hand in this race.
Yeah, could finish first and second. What about the remainder of the week, Hugo? Who are you pinning your hopes on? Lots of horses that came out of Goodwood rather unlucky. Mia Fantasia was one that sprung to mind off the top of my head.
Yeah, very much so. Well, we've got 4 in that nursery. I think possibly Mia Fantasia is he's the favourite and the obvious favourite. I would have thought that of my others, I think Regal Tiger is probably the best handicapped. He wouldn't want too much more rain. I've just declared a day of Scarlet for the Gimcrack on Friday, which I'm very much looking forward to. Busy day on Friday, and then Saturday. Both of these sprinters are re-entered again in the 6th furlong race on Saturday. We'll just see how today goes and how they come out of it. There's something else that has a chance on Saturday as well that's gone completely out of my head. I don't know. We've got a lot of entries. York did such a fantastic job with the prize money and entertaining the owners and that sort of thing. So I looked at Tricky Tell, who runs today, is not without a chance. His owner said, "Well, couldn't we go to Chester?" And I flat refused because it's a 0 to 95 and it's a 20 grand pot for a 0 to 95. He's running for 100 grand today. Chester is absolutely disgraced their prize money at the moment. So we're throwing as much at York as we can.
Hugo, thanks so much. I can't let you go. How's Glacius doing, your Saratoga Grade 1 winner?
He's in super order, very, very pleased with himself, as well he might be. Didn't leave a note the whole way home, the whole way out there. And he's been entered to head back to Kentucky Downs on the 5th for the National Derby. So that's which is worth another $1 million on top of what we ran for in Saratoga.
Excellent, good stuff. Good luck today.
Thanks, mate. See you later.
That is Hugo Palmer, who's got a couple of important runners in the first today. Got a runner in the Acomb, Day of Scarlet, big fancy in the Gimcrack. You were asking me about Whirlpool earlier. Today is a Whirlpool day, as
Yes.
are they all at York this week.
That's right. But we've got 7, haven't we, each day?
Yeah.
Not the 8.
Yeah.
Which eases my burden.
It eases your burden.
Having to write a tipping piece for every race.
And when there's 7 good ones,
yeah,
you don't mind, do you?
Not at all.
I'm calling Alex Frost, Chief Executive of Tote UK, to tell me a little bit more about Whirlpool, because you were answering a few questions, and I think he's going to be able to answer them for you. There he is. Look, David Yates is with me. Alex,
how are
you are with us live on the Nick Luck Daily. Thanks for taking the call. David was in the press room earlier, asked me quite a few questions about Whirlpool. I said I know just the man who can answer them for you, and about what exactly it is generating for British racing and how. So the floor is yours to answer his question.
Yeah, it feels strange, Nick. We were chatting away, weren't we? I was reflecting this morning, being on Luck on Sunday. I think it was in 2018 when we were harping back on the challenges of racing funding back then. But but this year we're up to 65 million that's gone into the sport already. And I think, well, in terms of what Dave perhaps should be looking at is the prize money that William Derby's got going into this week. Well, the minimum prize is 100 grand. I think when you think of, listed races in York in the listed races in France in the last couple of weeks, being prize money sort of 20, 25 grand, and you've got these nurseries this week with £100,000. I think that tells you kind of, the funding trajectory that Whirlpool's really driving.
So roughly, and I know last time we spoke, I think, on this podcast, which was quite a while ago, specifically about Whirlpool and how much each day generates. I think you said to me the sort of really big days might generate 750, 800,000. Are we pushing north of that now?
I think the really big days can drive more than that. I think what we're trying to do is get more international runners. We know the appeal for the international markets of, Santona Rev coming to these big races. That's what drives those numbers through, and if we get to £1 million a day at some point pretty soon, then we'll be pretty excited. But you've got this week, we've got extra races going, and we've got the Ebor, the City of York. I mean, for the whole calendar this year, we've got 220 races in Whirlpool. So I think it's gone from a reasonably irrelevant position 3 or 4 years ago to now a position of prominence. And you've got pretty much every major race day in the UK and Ireland in Whirlpool.
Okay, can you explain why, say, a horse like Santona Rev or a Japanese horse suddenly bumps the pool up?
Yeah, absolutely. We got 24 countries playing into Whirlpool, so the more we can engage each of those countries, particularly the big betting markets like Japan, where Santona Rev obviously has a huge domestic following. If we can get those horses running in our big international races this week, then we get the international interest in those local pools, which drives huge revenue uplifts in those pools. So for a Japanese runner, you're going to see a sort of 20-30% uplift in the pool. For a Hong Kong runner, it'll be even more than that.
All right, David, do you have any further questions for Alex?
Alex, he's a terrible troublemaker. We were talking about the finances of British racing. We were talking about affordability checks. We were talking about what Andy Burnham had said about dodgy business on the high street. And I said, I wonder what the contribution is from Whirlpool. He made it sound as if I was sort of sticking pins in an effigy of you all evening, which I can assure you was certainly not the case.
Oh, I'm glad to hear.
It's all right. He's known me long enough. Don't worry about that.
I know, very good. I mean, I think from a punter's perspective, it's also